Chapter 4. Emil's friends make a plan. At last, the man in the black hat got off the tram. Emil picked up his case and the flowers, thanked the man with the newspaper, and followed the thief. The thief walked in front of the tram, crossed the road, and continued on the other side. The tram moved away, and Emil saw the man go into a cafe. Now, thought Emil, I must be very careful. There was a house at the corner of the road. He ran into the doorway. It was a good place to hide. From there, he could see the thief easily. Mr. Green was sitting close to the cafe window. He was looking very pleased with himself. He ordered some coffee. Emil didn't know what to do. I can't stay here and watch the man. A policeman will come along and tell me to move, he thought. Suddenly, a horn sounded just behind Emil. He jumped and turned round quickly. A boy stood there, laughing at him. "Don't be afraid," said the boy. "Did you make that loud noise?" asked Emil. "Of course," said the boy. "You're not from here, are you? Everyone here knows me and my horn. I always carry it with me." "No, I'm not from here," said Emil. "I'm from Newton. I've just come from the station." "Newton? From the country? Is that why you're wearing those silly clothes?" "Don't talk like that, or I'll hit you," said Emil angrily. The other boy looked surprised. "I don't want to fight," he said. "It's too hot. But I will if you want to." "I haven't got time to fight now," said Emil. "I'm busy." "Busy? You aren't doing anything, just standing in this doorway." "Yes, I am," Emil answered. "I'm watching a thief." "What? Did you say thief?" "That's right," said Emil. He told the boy about losing all his money. "Well, this is wonderful," said the boy as Emil finished the story. "It's like a detective film at the cinema. What are you going to do next?" "I don't know." "Look, there's a policeman over there. Let's tell him. He'll help you." "I don't think so," said Emil. "I did something wrong in Newton. I think the police want to catch me." "Oh, I see," said the boy. He thought for a minute, then said, "I'll help you, if you want me to." "I'd like that," said Emil. "My name's Paul," said the boy. "And mine's Emil." "Well, Emil," said Paul, "we must do something. Have you got any money now?" "Not a penny." Paul sounded his horn softly. It usually helped him think, but it didn't help this time. "Can you bring some of your friends here?" asked Emil. "Good idea," said Paul. "I'll run round to their houses and sound my horn. Then they'll come out and help us." "OK, but come back soon," said Emil. "If the thief leaves, I'll have to follow him. Then you won't know where I am." "That's true. But I don't think the man will leave yet. He's eating some eggs." Paul ran off. Emil felt much happier. Friends are a great help when you're in trouble. Emil watched the thief. He was enjoying his meal. Perhaps he was paying for the food with Mrs. Fisher's money. But things were different now. Emil had help at last. 10 minutes later, Emil heard the horn again. He saw about 20 boys coming up the road towards him. Paul was in front. "What do you think of this?" he asked Emil. "Great," said Emil, looking at all the boys. "I've told them what happened," Paul continued. He turned to the other boys. "This is Emil, and the man who stole his money is sitting in that cafe. He mustn't escape." "We'll soon catch him," said a boy with a loud voice. "This is the captain," Paul said. He then told Emil the names of all the other boys. "Well," said the captain wisely, "we must begin. First, everyone must give me their money." Each boy threw his money into Emil's cap. A very small boy, called Little Tuesday, put 5 pence into the cap. He was very excited, because it was his job to count the money. "We have 85 pence, Little Tuesday reported. 3 of us will keep the money. If we can't stay together, there'll always be someone with money." "Good idea," said the captain. He and Emil each kept 20 pence. Paul took the rest. Emil thanked everyone and said, "I'll return the money after we catch the thief. But I can't do much with this case and these flowers. I'd like to leave them somewhere safe." "Give them to me," said Paul. "I know the man who owns that cafe. I'll leave them with him. And I'll have a good look at the thief while I'm there." "Be careful," said the captain. "We don't want the thief to know you're watching him." When Paul came back, Emil said, "Now I think we should have a meeting, but not here. Everyone can see us." "We'll go over to the square and sit on the grass," said the captain. "But some boys must stay here and watch the thief. They can be the watchers. 2 can watch the cafe, and 5 or 6 others can stand along the road. If anything happens, they can run to the square. Then we'll come back here." "I'll choose the watchers," Paul said to Emil and the captain. "And I'll stay here too and watch the cafe. You take the rest of the boys with you. Hurry, it's getting late now." Paul chose the boys that he needed. The rest went to the square with Emil and the captain. They sat down on 2 long seats in the middle of the square by the grass. They all looked very serious. Then the captain began to speak in a loud voice. His father was a soldier and always spoke like that when he gave orders. "It's possible," the captain said, "that later we won't be able to stay together. If that happens, we'll need a telephone. Who has a telephone at home that they can use?" "I have," Little Tuesday called out. "My family's out at the cinema tonight." "And what's your telephone number?" the captain asked. "West 5478. The captain thought for a minute. He turned to a boy named John. "Take this pencil and paper. Cut the paper into 20 pieces. Write Little Tuesday's telephone number clearly on each piece. Then give everyone a piece of paper with the number on it. Little Tuesday's house can be our telephone office. Our detectives must telephone that office when anything new happens. And when we want to know the news, we can telephone that number too." "But I'm not at home," said Little Tuesday. "No, but you will be," the captain answered. "Listen to me. We'll finish talking, and then you'll go home and sit by the telephone. It's very important work." John gave out the pieces of paper. Each boy put his piece carefully in his pocket. The captain continued. "Some of you must follow the thief, but the others must stay here in the square. Then we'll know where you are. We'll find you if we need you. You can go home now. Tell your families that you'll be very late tonight. But one after the other, not all at the same time. John, you can go home with Little Tuesday. Run back here when there's something to report. I think that's all, isn't it?" "We'll need something to eat," said Emil. 5 boys ran off to get some food. "I think you're all being silly," said a boy called Peter. "You're talking about food and telephones, but we need to talk about catching this thief. How are we going to catch him?" "Can we get his fingerprints?" said a boy who read a lot of detective stories. "Of course not," said John. "We can only hope to get back the money that he's stolen." "But if we steal the money from him," said the captain, "we'll be thieves too." "That's right," said Emil. "It's wrong to take something from someone if he doesn't know about it." "OK, we've talked enough," said the captain. "Now let's do something. We don't know yet how we're going to catch this man, but one thing's sure, he must give back the money." "I didn't understand what you said about stealing," said Little Tuesday. "How can I steal something that belongs to me? I own it, even if it is in another person's pocket." "You're too young," said the captain. "You can't understand." "Are you sure we can all be good detectives?" asked Peter. "We don't want the thief to know what's happening. He'll escape." "Yes, we'll need some good detectives," cried Little Tuesday. "That's why you need me. I can be a wonderful police dog too. I can make a noise like a dog." Nobody listened to him. "Perhaps the thief has a gun," said Peter. "Then we need brave detectives," said Emil. "If anyone's afraid, they can go home to bed." Nobody moved. "There's one more thing," Emil continued. "I must send news to my grandmother. She doesn't know where I am. She'll go to the police, and we don't want that. Can someone take a letter to 15 Bridge Street for me?" "I'll do it," said a boy called Robert. Emil asked for a pencil and paper. He wrote, "Dear Grandmother, you probably want to know where I am. Please don't worry. I am in the city. I cannot see you yet because I have some important business. But when everything is finished, I will come. Do not ask what this business is. The boy who is bringing you this letter is a friend. He knows where I am, but he cannot tell you because it is a secret. Give my love to Uncle, Aunt, and Polly. Your loving grandson, Emil." Emil wrote the number of the house and the name of the street on the other side of the paper. Robert took it. The captain gave him the money for his tram ticket, and Robert hurried away. The 5 boys came back with the food. Emil gave some food to each of the detectives. Some of the boys were still at home. Their families did not want them to come out again. The captain gave them all a secret word. The word was Emil, because it was easy to remember. When they phoned Little Tuesday, they had to say this word first. If a caller knew the word, they were a friend. The captain turned to Little Tuesday. "Please telephone my father. Tell him that I have some important business. I won't be home until late." "All right," said Little Tuesday. He went home, taking John with him. "Won't your father be angry?" asked Emil in surprise. "My father knows I'm sensible," answered the captain. "I've promised him that I'll never do anything wrong. I can do what I like, but I mustn't break that promise." "Why aren't all fathers like that?" said Peter. The captain turned to the rest of the boys. "I'll leave my money here," he said. "We have enough without it. Gerald, you must be the chief. Wait here until we send for you. John will come from Little Tuesday's house if we need help. Are there any more questions? Is everything clear? Our secret word is Emil. Don't forget." "Secret word, Emil," the boys cried loudly. All the people in the square looked at them with surprise. Emil was really enjoying himself now. "I'm almost glad that thief stole my money," he thought.